certified criminalistic specialist, cyber forensic specialist. So let's go. Okay, number one, an official pardon for people who have been convicted of political offenses. A, amnesty. B, parole. 2, parole. 3, bail. 4, reprieve. Or 5, pardon. So, dito, official pardon of people, malilito ka, no? Kasi pardon. Pero ang pinaka magiging clue nyo dito is convicted for political offenses. So, dyan sa maraming binibigay si president na mga executive clemencies. But there is a specific executive clemency kapag political offenses or political offender yung ating criminal or the convicted person, sorry, yung nasa presohan, yung gusto niyang patawarin. And that is amnesty yung binibigay niya. Amnesty. So, what is, discuss natin yung amnesty. So, para hindi kayo malito, i-discuss ko yung other executive clemencies na binibigay ni President. And you can see this, ang basis ng karapatan or power ni President na to is na makikita nyo sa Article 7, the executive branch ng ating 1987 Philippine Constitution. So, nakalagay dyan, except in cases of impeachment or as otherwise provided in this Constitution, the President may grant reprieves, commutations, and pardons, and remit fines and forfeitures after conviction by final judgment. He may also have the power to grant amnesty with the concurrence of the majority of all the members of the Congress. So, yung ating executive clemency, bali, ah, apat yan sila. Ang palatandaan ko dyan ay PARC, P-A-R-C. So, meron tayong pardons, dalawa yan. Pardons because dalawa sila. Absolute pardon and conditional pardon. So, sa pangalan pa lang malalaman niyo na saan doon yung totally malaya ka na at saka saan doon yung sige pinapatawad kita pero may kailangan kang mga sundin na mga kondisyones. So, diyan. Pardons natin, absolute pardon. Pareho naman yung pardons guys na act of grace. Bali parang naawa, pinatawad, no? Naawa ang presidente sa'yo. So, an act of grace proceeding from the power entrusted with the execution of laws or the president that's granted by the president. Very basic yan, no? Yan lang yung word. Power entrusted with the execution of the laws. Executive power, kumbaga. Exempts the individual from the penalty of the crime he has committed. So, exempted ka. Wala kang criminal liability, wala ka na magiging criminal liability or hindi ka na makukulong. But, pagdating sa pardon guys, definitely hindi nawawala yung pagbabayad. Okay? May bayad pa rin, may civil liability pa rin. The other one is conditional pardon. If delivered and accepted, it is a contract between the president and the PDL natin or the person deprived of liberty na sige, papalayaan kita pero kailangan may mga sundin kang conditions habang nasa labas ka. Okay? So, yan yung absolute and conditional pardons natin. And then we have reprieve. So, si pardon, no, forgiveness. Pagpapatawa, di ba? Pardon me, forgive me. So, pinatawad ka ni President. So, ito, total extinction to. Wala ka na talagang criminal liability. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka na makukulong. Ito, conditional pardon. It is partial extinction. Or although malaya ka, meron ka, hindi ka totally malaya. Okay? Kasi may mga sinusunod kang conditions. Si reprieve naman doon sa ating PARC, P-A-R-C, nauna si R, no? Okay, si reprieve na lang. Mas madali lang naman si reprieve. So, si reprieve, ito ay ginagawa or applicable to sa death penalty. So, it is not applicable during this time because, di ba, prohibited yung imposition ng death penalty. Ngayon, reprieve refers to the deferment, wait lang, no? Ganyan. Postponement, temporary stay, suspension, temporary suspension of the implementation or the execution of sentence for an interval of time. So it does not annul the sentence but merely postpones or suspends its execution. So wait lang, parang ganun siya, no? Si reprieve. Halimbawa na patawan ka ng death siya ng death penalty, wag ikaw kasi magte-take ka pa ng CSE. Napatawan siya ng death penalty, reprieve is yung binibigay ni president na okay, wait lang, bigyan natin ng time yung court, o pag-isipan niyo mabuti kung tama ba yung last final na ba talaga yung decision niyo na death penalty ang ipapataw sa kanya. So temporary stay, deferment, postponement, suspension, whatever the term they will use, basta as long as ititigil lang saglit, no? Hindi siya kakanselin. Like hindi siya yung death penalty, wag na lang natin i-death penalty. Hindi ganoon 'yun. Parang wait lang, i-wait na muna natin, 'wag niyo munang papatayin, parang gano'n siya, 'no? That's reprieve. Also, pagdating sa reprieve guys, hindi puwedeng reprieve agad ang isasagot niyo porket nakakita kayo ng death penalty, okey? Kasi puwede din tayo sa commutation of sentence makakita ng death penalty. Okey, so reprieve muna, temporary stay, postponement, suspension of the execution of the sentence. Anong sentence 'yan? Death penalty madalas. It's not applicable now, okay? Next, amnesty is derived from the Greek word amnesia or amnesis. So kung si pardon, hindi ko na masulat, but if si pardon ay forgiveness, sulat niya na lang. Kung si pardon ay forgiveness, amnesty is forgetfulness. Forgetfulness. So ayan siya. Oblivion or to lose memory, parang nakalimutan niya na, no, na may kasalanan siya. So ganito yon, kapag nabigyan ka ng amnesty yung isang tao, burado lahat, 'no? Parang wala siyang ginawang kasalanan, hindi siya naging kriminal, okay? Burado lahat yung kasalanan niya. So, it is an act of the sovereign power, itong sovereign power, that's the executive power or the executive power or the power of the president to apply the principle of tabula rasa. Tabula rasa is clean slate to past offenses. So, kung ano man yung nagawa nilang krimen, no, kung rebellion yan or treason, basta whatever na political offense, canceled yan. Ibig sabihin kakalimutan dapat, kinakalimutan na ng president na may ginawa kang kasalanan. Si pardon kasi forgiveness lang yan. Okay, may ginawa kang kasalanan, hindi ko kakalimutan na may ginawa kang kasalanan, pero papatawarin kita. Si amnesty, okay, wala talaga. Oblivion. 'Pag nakakita kayo ng word na oblivion, amnesty 'yan. Oblivion is parang kakalimutan na natin, 'no, yung ginawa niya. Madalas wala silang record, okay? At lahat ng rights na meron sila, babalik. So, an act of the sovereign power granting oblivion or general pardon, si Si pardon, usually 'yan pang individual 'yan binibigay. Si amnesty pang group of political offenders. Grupo kasi usually 'di ba rebellion, maraming tao ang nagko-commit niyan, eh, 'no, marami sila, grupo-grupo sila. So that's why it's general pardon or it is, blanket nga 'yan, eh, marami silang natatakpan. Marami silang na puwedeng pag-applyan. It is rarely exercised in favor of a single individual, yan yung sinasabi ko. Kasi kung single individual, edi mag-pardon ka na lang. Okay? And it is usually exerted in behalf of certain class of persons who are subject to trial but not yet convicted. So it extinguishes any and all criminal liability for the act subject for amnesty grant and restores all the civil and political rights suspended or lost by virtue of criminal conviction. However, amnesty does not remove the grantee's civil liability. Ayun yung sinabi ko, guys. Ito sa pardon, reprieve, amnesty, commutation of sentence. Lalo tong pardon tsaka amnesty kasi malaya sila, 'di ba? Pinapalaya na sila. Hindi yan kasali yung bayad. So kung meron tayong mga private offended party, 'no, meron silang mga individual na talagang nagawan ng kasalanan, although malaya sila, need pa rin nilang bayaran yung mga civil liability nila. So, criminal liability kasi, para sa akin, kulong 'yan. Civil liability, bayad. So, kung pinatawad ka ni president, pinatawad ka ng state. So, wala ka lang kulong kasi pinatawad ka ng state, but hindi ka pa naman pinapatawad nung mismong biktima mo. So, bayaran mo pa rin siya kasi yung bayad sa ginawa mong kasalanan sa kanya. Okay, next, commutation of sentence. So, again, as you know, ang amnesty is si pardon, reprieve, commutation of sentence, they're all personal na desisyon yan ni President. Personal. Kasi siya lang ang magde-decide. Si amnesty, public na act yan ni President because aside from him, he needs to have the concurrence of the majority of the members of the Congress. Eh, 'di ba yung Congress, mga representative natin 'yan, eh, buong Pilipinas. Kung sino man yung kongresista niyo diyan sa probinsya niyo, sa distrito niyo, representative siya ng lahat ng mga voters diyan sa lugar niyo. So if yung kongresista na yon is nag-approve ng amnesty, nag-concur siya sa amnesty, that means you are also concurring yung taga-probinsya na 'yan na nirepresentan niya, they are also concurring doon sa desisyon or doon sa amnesty na yon. So it's a public act kasi parang kasama tayo na nagde-decide by means of representation gamit yung ating mga congressman and women. Okay, so amnesty, aside sa part natin, PARC, pardons, amnesty, reprieve, and commutation of sentence, they are all given by the president. Yung pardon, reprieve, and commutation of sentence, personal decision ni president. Si amnesty, public act. Personal act yung tatlo, public act ito kasi kasama yung Congress, okay? Next, commutation of sentence, madali lang naman 'to si commutation. Si commutation is reduction of period of imprisonment. So, bale for example, sabi ni president ay sabi ni court, 3 years 6 years kang makukulong or iba 20 years kang makukulong. Ngayon, naawa si president sa'yo 'no or nakita niya ikaw, nakita niya yung progress mo sa kulungan, okey. Just to give you, an overview, meron kasi tayong tinatawag na Board of Pardons and Parole. Board of Pardons and Parole or BPP. Sila yung magtitingin sa mga sitwasyon doon sa kulungan and they will check people na puwedeng bigyan ni president ng executive clemencies. So, sila yung magre-recommend. So, ito po yung president, yung listahan ng puwede niyong bigyan ng executive clemency. So, not necessarily si president yung pupunta sa kulungan to check 'no, kasi meron silang may BPP, may board tayo na sila mismo yung magbibigay kay president ng listahan ng recommendation nila na kung sinong puwedeng bigyan ng executive clemencies. So, for example, si BPP, nakita niya yung isang tao ito yung mga okey na siya 'no, puwede na siyang palabasin or puwedeng bawasan yung kanyang parusa, bigyan ng pardon or amnesty or reprieve, wala ngang reprieve 'di ba, commutation of sentence. So, ibibigay nila kay president, si president ang magde-decide. Ngayon if you are granted commutation of sentence, kung sinabi ni court na 20 years yung kulong mo, puwede yang gawing mas mababa. Halimbawa 10 years, 15 years, whatsoever, basta mababa. So, from heavier sentence to lighter sentence. So, for example, yung sinasabi ko kanina na death penalty. 'Pag nakakita kayo ng death penalty sa tanong, not necessarily reprieve yan. Kasi kung ang death penalty is sinuspend, o wag niyo munang patayin, pag-usipan niyo muna mabuti, yan reprieve yan. Pero 'pag ang death penalty ay okay, death penalty, instead the death penalty, reclusion perpetua na lang, 20 years to 40 years na lang nakulong, wag na lang yung death penalty. That's commutation of sentence because it is from heavier sentence to a lighter sentence. Gano'n naman, halimbawa 20 years ang sinabi ni court, tapos ngayon nakita ka ni president, nakita na yung recommendation sa'yo, binigyan ka niya ng commutation of sentence from 20 years to 40 years, ginawa niyang 15 years. So that's from longer period to shorter period. So basta ni-reduce yung period of imprisonment or pinababa yung kanyang parusa. O puwede din fine, halimbawa 20,000 or 100,000, sinabi na lang niya 80,000. That's commutation of sentence, okey? Heavier to lighter, longer period to shorter period. So again, pardon, dalawa yan, absolute and conditional. Absolute, totally malaya ka na, pinapatawad ka na niya. Totally malaya, walang conditions. Conditional, may conditions, pero pinatawad ka rin. Both of them may civil liability pa rin 'no, babayaran mo pa rin yung kailangan mong bayaran sa victim. Reprieve, again, it's not applicable pero that's just to temporary postpone. Temporarily postpone or suspend the execution of the sentence. So, saglit lang, wait lang, wag niyo munang gawin, gano'n siya. Amnesty, pang political offenders, this is granted by the president with the concurrence of the majority of the members of the Congress, ayan nakalagay diyan. For political offenders, 'no, it forgets, kakalimutan na meron kang ginawang kasalanan, okey? Gano'n din 'no, hindi rin maka-cancel yung civil liability. Commutation of sentence, ibababa lang from heavier to lighter or from longer to shorter period. Okay, so 'wag niyong kakalimutan. Now, let's check the other options. We have parole and bail. So, reprieve and pardon, I have already discussed that. So, let's go to parole. Si parole naman, para siyang conditional pardon. But, ang nagbibigay nito, hindi si president. Naalala niyo yung sinasabi ko kaninang Board of Pardons and Parole? Wait lang, tanggalin natin yung lagyan natin ng S 'to kasi pardons yun, eh. Board of Pardons kasi nga dalawa ang pardon, pardons and parole. Okay, wait. Let's cancel this, let's cancel this. Up. Okay, so I think that's bigger sentence. Okay, so kung ang executive clemencies ay given by the president except sa amnesty 'no, clemency. Walang president's clemency ha, executive clemency 'yan, walang president's clemency. So meron tayong park, dalawa yung park, P 'no. They are granted by the president. Granted by the president. By the president. Okay. Again, that accepts the amnesty kasi dapat granted by the president but with the concurrence of the majority of the Congress. Majority member of the Congress. 'Di ba majority, two-thirds usually naman 'yan, 'di ba? Member of the Congress. Okay. Eto, si parole, it is granted by the BPP, yung sinasabi ko. Although ito executive clemencies, they are recommended, granted by the president with the recommendation of the BPP. Yung sinasabi ko ditong BPP kanina. So, kung dito sa executive clemency nagre-recommend lang sila, si parole sila talaga nagbibigay. Si BPP talaga nagbibigay, okay? So, yan. So, consists of suspension of the sentence or of a convict after the minimum term of the indeterminate penalty. It is granted by the Board of Pardons and Parole and a agency under the Department of Justice. So, ang batas na pinanggalingan naman ng kapangyarihan na to ng BPP ay the Parole Law or the Act number 4103, what we call that ISLAW or the Indeterminate Sentence Law. Indeterminate Sentence Law. So, indeterminate, ibig sabihin hindi siya determinate, hindi siya straight penalty. Like, ang indeterminate sentence guys, mayroong minimum period, may medium period, at may maximum period. So, don't worry about the calculation, no? Sample lang, no? Sample lang to. Halimbawa, ang minimum period, 1 year. Tapos, ang medium period, 2 years. And then, maximum period, 3 years. Si parole, sinasabi diyan na 'pag na-serve mo na yung minimum term or period ng yung indeterminate penalty, pwede ka ng bigyan ng parole. Okay? So, halimbawa, 3 years yung maximum period mo, ganito siya. Ganito ang penalty sa'yo, minimum period 1 year, medium period 2 years, maximum period mo 3 years. Ngayon na-serve mo na yung 1 year, puwede ka na bang mabigyan ng parole? Yes, mag-a-apply ka naman yan or easy by or, ano nga yun? It's either mag-a-apply ka, magpe-petition ka or motu proprio ng BPP on their own initiative, puwede nilang ibigay 'yan or imbestigahan kung puwede kang bigyan. Isa nga sa mga ang isa sa mga, requirement ng parole guys is ayan, dapat indeterminate yung sentence mo, ibig sabihin merong, minimum, medium period, and maximum period, indeterminate sentence. And then yung maximum period mo dapat, max period should be more than 1 year. Max period must be more than 1 year. And then na-serve, you have served your minimum sentence, sorry. Minimum, ito lang sentence. Ito yung pinaka-clue nyo sa parole tsaka conditional pardon. Kasi sa conditional pardon gano'n din, eh, malaya ka, may mga kondisyones. Ang kakaiba kay parole is kailangan ma-serve mo na yung minimum sentence mo. Eto. So, kung ganito yung sentensya mo, minimum period mo 1 year, 2 years yung medium, 3 years yung maximum, you are ano, eligible. Bakit? Ang indeterminate yung parusa sa'yo, may minimum, medium, maximum. Ta's maximum period mo more than 1 year kasi 3 years, eh. Tapos na-serve mo na 'to, na-serve mo na 'yan, serve, puwede ka na, 'yan. Okay, again, this is granted by the BPP or Board of Pardons and Parole. And then bail naman, that's, sa criminal procedure naman natin 'yan, Rule 114. Si bail is as security given for the release of a person in custody of the law furnished by him or a bondsman to guarantee his appearance before any court as required under the conditions hereafter specified. So, si bail naman ay bayad 'yan o di kaya property 'yan. Ito kasi puwede 'yan, corporate surety, puwede din property bond, cash deposit or cash bond, ang hirap 'no, cash deposit or cash bond or recognizance. So, tatlo 'yan. Explain ko rin CPPR, CCPR, CCPR. Okay, corporate surety, dito muna tayo sa cash deposit, very basic. Halimbawa, ang sinabi ng fiscal or sorry, ng court, 30,000 yung bail, kailangan required bail. O 'di magbigay ka lang ng 30,000, puwede ka ng magkaroon ng temporary release. Temporary release lang 'yan, temporary release. Ibig sabihin, puwede kang ma-detain din. So, temporary release kasi if if kakailanganin ka ng court for the trial, kailangan pumunta ka. Okay, cash. Property wala kang pera, o 'di property na lang. Titulo ng lupa, mga ganyan. Puwede 'yan, 'yan yung ibibigay mo doon sa clerk of court. Puwede din recognizance, ito yung sinasabi kong puwede si mayor, puwede si kapitan, any person with good repute, yung parang may magandang reputasyon or kapangyarihan diyan sa lugar niyo. Bale parang iva-vouch ka lang niya na, "Sige, kilala ko po 'to 'no," or, "Ano ko po 'to sa barangay, kilala ko po 'to. I'll promise you na kapag kinailangan niyo siya sa court, darating siya, akong bahala." Oh, 'yan recognizance ang tawag diyan. Vouch 'yan, pagva-vouch. And then the corporate surety naman is mga companies yan guys, may mga corporation or companies na nagpapautang para lang mag-bail. So, halimbawa kailangan mo talaga ng pera, wala talaga 'to, tapos for bail, 'yan nagpapautang 'yan sila. So, corporate surety, 'yan. So, 'pag meron 'yan, at least isa sa mga 'yan 'no, puwede ka na temporarily makalaya para sure na magpakita ka sa court kapag ni-require yung iyong presence para sa kung anumang, um, gagawin doon sa court, kung trial man 'yan or arraignment, whatsoever, usually trial naman 'yan, eh. 'Yan 'no, so that's bail. So nakalagay sa ating 1987 Constitution and may possible na itanong din 'to, all persons except those charged with offenses punishable by reclusion perpetua. Okay, remember, all persons puwedeng mag-bail. Sino ang exception? Hindi lang punishable by reclusion perpetua 'to, kailangan diretso 'to dito, okey. Ito ang hindi puwedeng bigyan ng bail, okey, hindi puwedeng magkaroon ng bail. Kung ang offenses nila is punishable by reclusion perpetua at yung evidence na guilty sila is strong, yun. Hindi porket reclusion perpetua automatic, hindi sila puwedeng bigyan bawal ang bail sa kanila. Puwedeng magkaroon ng bail yang reclusion perpetua. Pero 'pag when the evidence of guilt is strong, when the evidence of guilt is strong tapos reclusion perpetua pa rin parusa, then hindi puwede ang bail, okey? Kaya puwede ang bail. So, sino magde-decide yan ma'am? Siyempre si court. Si court ang magde-decide. Shall before conviction. So, all persons except, all persons all persons. So, bale ito yan. Ganito yan pagkakabasa. All persons shall before conviction, bago mahatulan na guilty, kumbaga, be bailable which by sufficient sureties or be released on recognizance as may be provided by law. The right to bail shall not be impaired. So kahit may suspension ng privilege of habeas corpus 'no, during rebellion 'no, mga ganyan or invasion, puwede pa rin ang bail. And excessive bail shall not be required. So, hindi puwedeng mag-require si court ng excessive bail, okey? So, ito sinasabi ko na, all persons, ang exception lang natin ay those persons na with offenses punishable by reclusion perpetua when evidence of guilt is strong. But other than that, they shall be able to be bailable. Be bailable. They shall be bailable. Yung mga offenses na ganyan, bailable yan. So, tatandaan nyo yung exception. Except lang. Punishable by reclusion perpetua when evidence of guilt is strong. Okay, next. Number 2. Ang haba na nun, no? Walang hiya. Okay, number 2 tayo. Wait lang, search tayo. The exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. This comes from what saan banda yan manggagaling? Sino ang may exclusive power? Who has the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment? So pagdating sa impeachment guys, dalawa lang naman yan. House of Representative tsaka Senate. Si House of Representative, sila yung mag-i-initiate. Ang magde-decide, Senate. So mag-initiate ng case ng case, House of Representative. Si Senate ang magde-decide kung talaga bang impeachable or hindi. Okay? So let's himayin natin yan si impeachment na yan. So mga tao na according to the 1980 this is 1987 Philippine Constitution, ang mga tao or public officers na pwedeng ma-impeach are the President, Vice President, members of the Supreme Court. So and the members of the Constitutional Commission and the Ombudsman. So President, Vice President, Supreme Court, Judiciary, tsaka yung mga CONCOM natin or the Constitutional Commissions. Ano ulit yung Constitutional Commissions? Civil Service Commission, yung tatlo, COMELEC, Commission on Election, tsaka Commission on Audit. Constitutional commissions or they're the independent commissions. Hindi sila under ng mga branches of the government natin, ng legislative, executive, and judiciary. Hindi sila belong dyan. Constitutional commissions ang tawag doon. So they are also impeachable. And then the ombudsman. So they may be removed from the office for and conviction of. So ano mga kaso, ma'am, na pwedeng ipa-impeach sila? So culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, graft and corruption, and other high crimes or betrayal of public trust. So ito yung mga kaso nila, no? Culpable violation of the Constitution, katangahan man yan or hindi sinasadya. Pwede yan, no? Treason, bribery, ibig sabihin, nanunuhol, no? Graft and corruption, and other high crimes. Betrayal of public trust. So, mga ganyan. So, usually, matatanong, ano yung mga, the following are uh, the cases, no, na pwedeng magpa-impeach. Ano mga kaso yung pwedeng magkaroon ng initiation ng impeachment. So, yan, culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, graft and corruption, and other high crimes, and betrayal of public trust. Yan. Okay, so nakalagay dito yung sagot sa ating tanong. Ang sagot sa tanong, the House of Representatives shall have the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. So sinabi ko na yan at yan yung sagot. Ngayon, kailangan lang ng at least one-third. Hindi, di ba, usually nakakakita tayo sa Constitution, two-thirds ang kailangan. Pero dito, one-third lang. Of all members of the House shall be necessary either to affirm a favorable resolution with the articles of impeachment of the committee or override its contrary resolution. The vote of each member shall be recorded. So, one-third. One-third. Grabe, paulit-ulit kong sinasagot dati, two-thirds. One-third pala according to the Constitution. Sorry. Ito yung sinasabi ko. The Senate shall have the sole power to try and decide all cases of impeachment. When sitting for the purpose, the senator shall be an oath or affirmation. Kapag si President naman ang on trial for the impeachment, ang magiging presiding officer natin ay si Supreme Court. Ano nangyayari? Si Supreme Court Chief Justice. Yan. Pero hindi siya boboto. Okay, so kapag tinanong kayo, no, sino sa following yung hindi pwedeng ma-impeach? Congress, either Senate or House of Representatives. Kasi sila yung nag-i-impeach eh. Nag-i-initiate si member of the House of Representatives, nagtatry and nagde-decide si Senate. So, hindi sila kasali dun sa mga public officers na pwedeng ma-impeach. Next. May sagot na agad, ma'am. Breach of the following rights is accorded to persons arrested, detained, or under custodial investigation. So, yung mga taong to, guys, no, they are arrested, huli, no, or under custodial investigation, nasa hawak na sila ng mga pulis. So, pag binasa mo pa, tama lahat. But, there is specific dito. Pag binasa niyo yung Miranda rights. So, the right to be assisted by counsel of choice. Kasi nakalagay sa ating constitution, a person under investigation for commission of an offense shall have the right to be informed of eto na yung Miranda rights niya. Right to remain silent, to have competent and independent counsel, preferably of his own choice. At kung hindi niya kaya, hindi niya afford na kumuha ng services ng counsel, he must be provided with that one, or the state shall provide him with one. These rights cannot be waived except in writing and in the presence of the counsel. So pag sinabi niya, hindi ko kailangan ng counsel. Hindi ko kailangan ng counsel. Kailangan niya to waive this, kailangan niya may counsel para ma-waive niya yan, no? No torture, force, violence, threat, intimidation, or any other means which vitiate the free will shall be used against him. So, hindi mo pwede silang i-torture para lang umamin sila. No, hindi pwede 'yon. Secret detention places, solitary, bawal 'tong mga 'to, no? And other similar forms of detention are prohibited. Incommunicado, ibig sabihin hindi na siya makontak, hindi siya pwedeng makontak, wala siyang pwedeng kausapin. Any confession or admission obtained in violation of this, kung meron mang confession or admission kayong nakuha, pero na-violate nyo naman 'tong section na 'to or itong section 17, yung right against self-incrimination na siya mismong nagdiin sa sarili niya, hindi puwede 'yun. That shall be inadmissible in evidence against him. Hindi siya puwedeng dalhin sa court 'no, to be an evidence. Umamin naman po 'to, sumulat nga po siya, ganito, ganyan. Hindi puwede. Umamin nga 'no, do'n sa police station umamin pero wala namang counsel na present during that time, hindi rin puwede 'yun. Or umamin nga kasi binubugbog niyo na, hindi puwede 'yun, okey? Or umamin nga pero na-incriminate na nag-self-incriminate naman siya, hindi puwede 'yun. So this one 'no, ito yung sagot natin, right to be assisted by counsel of choice. So the right to contact family and reputable friend, it's not given sa Constitution. Right to freedom from corporal punishment and all cruel and degrading punishment, wala naman kasi diyan 'no. Although para siyang ganito, itong part na 'to parang gano'n 'no, pero hindi kasi siya ito kasi word by word, 'di ba? Talagang 'yan yung pinaka-hinihingi. Right to medical services, right to person, okey. 149 natin. The Philippines is one of the 18 mega-diversity countries in which holds two-thirds of the world's biological resources, which law was enacted by the government to protect its biodiversity. So, biodiversity, mega-diversity, no? Ang daming mga iba't ibang uri ng organisms or buhay. Merong aquatic, merong sa himpapawid, merong sa bundok, 'di ba? So, marami. So, what was enacted ng gobyerno natin to protect these biodiversities, yung mga organisms na 'to. So, meron tayong tinatawag na National Integrated Protected Areas System or the NIPAS Law or the NIPAS Act. So, yung NIPAS Law, merong mga lugar sa Pilipinas guys na hindi puwedeng pasukin, hindi puwedeng sirain, hindi puwedeng pangahuyan, hindi puwedeng magulo. Okey? Para nga maproteksyonan yung mga diverse organism sa lugar na 'yan. So, isa sa napuntahan kong under ng NIPAS is, yung underground water sa Palawan, 'yan. Sobrang daming paniki do'n and 'yan yung isa sa mga pinoproteksyonan nila do'n. Although puwede ang bisita, basta hindi masyadong maingay, mga gano'n lang guys. Huwag masyadong maingay, hindi puwedeng sobrang dami ng tao 'no, limited lang din ta's may mga binabayaran din tayong environmental fee, mga gano'n siya. So, that's the National Integrated Protected Areas. Protektado yung lugar na yun 'no, may mga iba na, 'pag nakakapanood kayo kay Celine Morillo, yung mag-asawa na nagpapakilala ng mga diverse 'no, biodiversity sa Philippines 'no, may pinupuntahan silang mga bundok, protected areas din na bawal maingay o 'pag pumupunta dun, talagang nagtatago sila or tahimik lang sila 'no. Tapos may time lang din kung kailan puwedeng pumunta. So yun, ito kasing National Caves and Cave Resources Management specifically for ano kasi siya, caves. Ito kasi iba-ibang uri ng mga protected areas puwede, okey? So ito namang RA 9512, yan naman yung batas na nag-uutos na dapat sa primary education or sa elementary pa lang nagtuturo na tayo ng environmental awareness. And then you know already the Clean Water Act 'no, yung pagbabawal ng pagtatapon, mga illegal na pagtatapon ng mga basura, mga wastes 'no, medical man 'yan or whatsoever, industrial sa ating, karagatan or bodies of water. And then we have the Clean Air Act, siyempre 'yan yung sa ating hangin. So, ang hindi ko makakalimutan nung binasa ko yung Clean Air Act dati is yung about sa gasolina ng motor or sasakyan. Before kasi may leaded gas tayo. So, if you can see na wala ng leaded gas, 'di ba? Usually ang ginagamit nating gas is unleaded, may premium din, pero yung hindi ko makalimutan yung compare mo sa unleaded tsaka leaded, 'di ba? Si leaded kasi nakakasira ng hangin, 'no? Kaya unleaded tayo ngayon, unleaded na tayo. So, 'yan mga factory, mga sasakyan, 'yang mga kakasira ng ating hangin. Mababaho, pati paglilibing ng bangkay nakalagay diyan 'no, kung ano yung mga bawal na paglilibing, 'yan. So, Clean Air Act. So, dito is the RA 7586, the NIPAS Law. 8749, the Clean Air Act, 9275, the Clean Water Act. So, 'yan i-memorize niyo 'yan. 150 hanggang 170 lang naman 'to guys. The contamination of natural substances which makes them unfit for unintended use is called blank. So, 'pag na-contaminate na ang isang substance, natural substance like hangin, tubig, na usually unfit for whatever yung dapat niyang gamit, that's what we call pollution, 'di ba? Hangin, 'pag na polluted 'yan, 'di ba, ang hirap intended for inhalation talaga. Pero siyempre dahil nasisira na siya, puwede na rin siya makasira ng health. Like kapag meron ng, smoke ng yosi, 'di ba? Tubig naman gano'n din. Imbes na diyan tayo umiinom, hindi puwede, 'di ba? So that's pollution, pollution. Okay, next. May sagot na naman. Sewage, detergent, and fertilizers, when dumped into a lake or river, make the water polluted. The following sentences describe the consequence with the exception. Alin ang exception dito? Exception na ang hinahanap natin. So, sewage detergent, fertilizers, 'pag nilalagay yan sa ano, sa tubig, nagkakaroon ng algae, 'no? Lumalala yung, ah oxygen sa loob, sa ilalim. Ngayon, ganito ang nangyayari sa kanya. So, lalo kapag malapit sa mga lugar kung saan gumagamit ng fertilizers or tayo nagtatapon tayo ng mga basura, 'no, or mga galing sa mga ihian, mga ganyan, 'no, or detergent, 'yan, mga fertilizers. So, 'pag 'yan ang napunta sa dagat or sa body of water, anong nangyayari? So, ito, number one. So, ang nangyayari yan dun, nag bumubuo sila dun sa ilalim ng, ah, parang ano, parang sobra-sobrang nutrient. Kaya nagkakaroon ng algae. Ngayon si algae, tatakpan niya yung tubig, hindi na makaka-penetrate yung ating sunlight. Ngayon yung sa ilalim naman masyadong maraming ano, masyadong marami ng puwedeng makabuo kasi dun guys or tumubo yung mga microorganisms na harmful, mga halaman na harmful, 'no. Tapos mag-aagawan na sila ng oxygen doon sa ilalim kasi 'di ba mga halaman ano 'yan, malakas sa oxygen, although malakas sa oxygen yung mga plants na 'yan, nag-aagawan din sila and that's later part na or stage na ng eutrophication. Eutrophication 'di ba 'to, Eutrification, Cation. So, marine organisms will compete for oxygen kasi nga magkakaroon ng mga iba pang plants do'n sa ilalim na usually harmful, 'no, or mas malakas do'n sa mga corals, gano'n. Most organisms will die of oxygen deprivation kasi nga nakikipag-agawan na sila, usually mas malakas kumuha yung mga harmful na yon or mga plants na yon compared doon sa mga organisms talaga na para sa dagat, 'no. So, they will die kasi naaagawan sila ng oxygen. Kasi nagkakaroon ng competition, dito may mga plants na sobrang lakas talaga manguha ng oxygen or gumamit ng oxygen. So, yung ibang organisms namamatay kasi hindi sila nakakakuha. Plants will die, later stage ng ating eutrophication. And this one is direct effect niya 'to, sunlight cannot penetrate into the water. So marine plants will produce less oxygen, although may mga plants naman na nagpo-produce pero ngayon yun nga, kulang na sa kanila kasi sobrang dami na nag-aagawan diyan. So this one is exception to the mga effects or consequences ng eutrophication or nito. So yan, eutrophication ang tawag natin diyan. These are algae, no, algae yan. Kasi plants din naman 'to, Plants din naman yang mga algae. Okay, so ito may mga mamamatay, yun yung mga gusto nating mabuhay dapat, yun ang namamatay. Tas ito mga plants na iba, yung mga harmful at saka yan, yung mga algae na yan, hindi sila namamatay. Pero may mga plants na namamatay, okey? May mga organisms, mga isda na namamatay sa ilalim, okey? So kung i-co-compare mo kasi 'to, pareho naman silang effect, 'no, or pareho silang consequence, pero ito talagang pinaka-less, 'no, pinaka-less na consequence niya. Next, we have 152. Carbon dioxide may not be pollutant since it is not toxic, but does it damage the Earth's atmosphere? So, meron tayong carbon dioxide tsaka carbon monoxide. Hindi ko siya makalimutan kasi sa fire, pinag-aaralan yan. Carbon monoxide, yan yung monoxide poisoning kapag 'di ba 'pag nakulong ka sa kotse tapos walang aircon tapos patay yung makina, nakasarado ang bintana, 'di ba namamatay yung tao 'pag tumagal sila do'n. So 'yan, carbon monoxide poisoning. Si carbon dioxide, it's not toxic, hindi siya poisonous, pero nakakasira siya ng environment. Bakit? Or ng atmosphere, bakit? Tumataas ang ating temperatura kasi part siya ng greenhouse gas, 'di ba? Greenhouse gas, ayan yung nakatakip sa Earth na siya yung dahilan bakit hindi nakakabalik sa hindi radiate yung ating mga, sunlight or ano ba yun, solar light. 'Di ba, galing sa araw, o pupunta siya sa Earth, tatama siya gano'n. Dapat magba-bounce back 'yan. May mga maa-absorb pero kung walang greenhouse gases, mas marami marami ang babalik sa atmosphere, mas marami ang babalik do'n sa direksyon ni Sun. Ngayon, 'pag tama niya sa Earth, kung maraming greenhouse gases, hindi na sila makakalusot do'n. So, dito sila magsi sa Earth. So, kaya mainit. So, although it's non-toxic, although it's not poisonous, nakakasira din siya ng atmosphere. Okay, it could increase the air temperature. Next, which of the following alternative sources of energy will not cause air pollution? So, dito sa air pollution, alam nyo naman, solar energy does not cause air pollution. Ganda-ganda na nga solar energy, no? So, ito mga to, the rest, nakaka-contribute sila sa air pollution. So, yung wind energy, solar energy, hydroelectric systems, they do not produce or contribute to the pollution, sa air pollution. But geothermal and biomass systems, they emit some air pollutants through total air emissions. Though total air emissions are generally much lower than those of coal and natural gas-fired power plants. Okay, so ito, solar energy. Next, biodegradable solid wastes can be best disposed of through. So biodegradable, ibig sabihin yung mga nabubulok. What's the best way to dispose that? So composting. So dalawa da yan guys. Meron tayong composting tsaka kalimutan ko yung isa. Nakalimutan ko yung isa. Digest. Ito ata meron na wala akong nalagay. So merong isa, yung iniipon silang lahat tapos 'pag lumabas na 'yun, 'di ba 'pag napapanis yung mga bagay-bagay mainit siya na hangin, 'yun yung naamoy natin. 'Yun yung ginagawa nilang energy. Tapos yung the rest na bulok, 'di ba ihihiwalay yung gas niya at saka yung nabubulok. So yung gas hiwalay, 'yun yung another pa-power siya. Usually 'yun yung ginagamit nila para magpaapoy, ginagamit nila pangluto. Tapos yung natitira sa ilalim, 'yun naman ay fertilizer. I'll check the name ha, para maganda kasi siya. Composting and ayan, anaerobic digestion. I'll show it to you. Alam mo, ito. Copy natin. Ito siya guys, oh. Yan. So, ito composting yan. Ito naman si anaerobic digestion. So, lahat ng mga nabubulok, nilalapag lang nila diyan. Tapos dito sa taas, nandiyan, 'di ba, again, mabubulok yan, magiging mabaho, mainit. 'Pag mainit kasi, nagiging power yan, 'di ba? So, ginagamit nila yung gas na yon, yung mabaho na yon, o yung gas na yon, ginagamit nila for cooking. Tapos yung natitirang mga nabulok na decompose na, yun naman yung pang fertilizer. So, yan siya, composting. So, this one is composting. Burning, incineration, they are both pagsusunog. Okay, incineration. Kung sino nakakapanood ng Saitama, 'di ba, si Pogi, yung disciple niya, incinerate, yung sinusunog yung kalaban. Segregation, although this is good way, magandang gagawin sa basura, but it does not dispose, no? Bali, yun lang yung segregate, pag hiwa-hiwalay lang naman yan. Treatment, how do you treat that? Okay, so that's composting. Okay, next. Which of the following rights of women is violated when a certain government agency issues a hiring providing for the preference of men over women applicant? So, nag-hiring sila pero nakalagay doon na mas gusto namin lalaki kaysa sa babae. So, ano nangyari? May freedom from violence ba? Wala. Wala naman sinaktan. Right to participate, wala. Right to representation, wala. Right to employment, parang gano'n, 'no? Pero this one, hindi naman sila pinagbawalang mag-apply, pero mayroong a preference. So, that's freedom from discrimination. Discriminating, eh, 'di ba? Hiring, mas gusto niya lalaki. Okay. So that's freedom from discrimination. Kasi mas preferred nila yung men over women applicant. Okay, next. 156, which of the following is allowed according to the anti-age discrimination in employment law? So, meron tayong ganyang batas, no? Anti-age discrimination in employment law. So, ano yung allowed dito? So, before I answer that, so, number one muna, to cause the publication of age qualification in social media for a work to be performed. Is that allowed? Number two, to give more training opportunities for younger employees rather than an older ones who will be retiring soon. Is that allowed? To impose compulsory retirement for age for employees. Is that allowed? Four, to require a certain age group to apply as a bona fide occupational qualification. And number five, to require the applicants to submit birth certificate as proof of date of birth and age. So, alin dyan yung allowed? So, I'll show you, ito yung sagot na. Pero I'll show you the law itself. So, the law is Republic Act 10911 or the Anti-Age Discrimination of in Employment Act. So, may nakalagay dito, exception agad to, pero dito muna tayo sa 5, section 5. So, prohibitions, mga pinagbabawal. So, it shall be unlawful for an employer to print or publish or cause to be printed or publish any form of media. Yeah, internet, no, kahit anong media, TV, radyo, or newspaper, including internet, any notice of advertisement relating to employment suggesting preferences. Bawal yon yung require, gusto namin to, mas gusto namin to, mas gusto namin to. No limitations, specifications, and discrimination based on age. Ang saklap, no, bawal na yun ganun na dapat 18 to ganito ganyan, no. Mas usually 'di ba at least 18 years of age nakalagay. Pero bawal na daw ngayon yung may specific na edad. Okay, it shall be unlawful for an employee to require the declaration of age or date of birth date during the application process. Apply pa lang, hinihingan ka na ng edad, tsaka birth date. Why? Di ba? Pero dapat naman talaga yun. Pero bakit kaya? Sobrang ginusto na nilang pagbawalan ng mga tao, no? Masyado na nilang inaano yung discrimination. Decline any employment application because of the individual's age. Dahil sa edad, bawal silang mag-decline kung dahil sa edad yung rason. Discriminate against an individual in terms of compensation, terms and conditions, and or privileges of employment on account of such individual's age. Deny any employees or workers promotion or opportunity for training because of age. Forcibly lay off an employee or worker because of old age. Impose early retirement on basis of such employees workers age. So nakalagay ito nasa option 'yan, so bawal 'yan itong ating ito retirement, number 3 bawal 'yan. Yung ating promotion or training, bawal 'yan. Tapos itong birthday, bawal 'yan. Tapos yung printing sa mga media, bawal 'yan. So, nandito naman yung mga hindi bawal. So, exception lang. It shall not be unlawful for an employer to set age limitations in employment if age is a bona fide occupational qualification. Qualification yung age sa trabaho na 'yan. Reasonably necessary in the normal operation of a particular business or where the differentiation is based on reasonable factors other than age. So, pag yan ay talagang qualification. Intent is to observe the terms of a bona fide seniority system that is not intended to evade the purpose of this act. So, halimbawa, required na, di ba si president, di ba, kailangan 40 years old bago ka makatakbo ng president. 'Di ba? So ganyan, kung 'yan ay bona fide qualification talaga or halimbawa, kailangan 10 years ka na sa serbisyo bago ka ma-promote, then siyempre mas matanda ka dapat compare dun sa iba, 'di ba? Kasi dapat tumagal ka na sa serbisyo, eh. The intent is to observe the terms of bona fide employee, retirement or a voluntary early retirement plan consistent with the purpose of this act, provided that such retirement or voluntary retirement plan is in accordance with the labor code as amended in other related laws. The action is duly certified by the Secretary of Labor and Employment in accordance with the purpose of this act. Nako, ano ba 'tong batas na 'to? Charot. Okay, apply yan ha, apply. So this is, okay lang naman to require a certain group pag if that is a bona fide occupational qualification. It's okay. Okay. Pero ako nalilito ako sa batas na 'to. Bakit kailangan pa yung batas na 'to? Okay, next. Ayun yun, oh, provision. Number 157, which of the following entities are exempted from paying taxes? Basta sasabi ko naman palagi, kapag taxes, kapag kumikita sila, kapag it is not for educational or religious or charity, they will need to pay. So government offices, they will pay. Local government unit, they will pay. Basta mga non-profit organizations, they will not pay. Okay? Churches, at kung ang purpose talaga niyan is for religious or educational, at saka yan, mga charitable institution or non-profit organizations. So, yan. So, this one is charitable institution. They are exempted. Hindi sila kailangan magbayad ng tax. Exempted sila. Okay. Mga state universities and colleges, may mga kinikita kasi yan mga yan, guys. No? So, kailangan pa rin nilang magbayad. Next, government agencies shall ensure the effective and efficient use of government resources in order to avoid wastage, to conserve resources, to create surplus, to live within the budget, or reduce expenditure. So parang pareho tama sila lahat, no? Kasi pareho naman, tama naman, mababait naman lahat eh. But this is literal na from the law. It should be verbatim. Ito kasi nakalagay sa batas. RA 6713 natin sa ating Code of Conduct and Code of Ethic no, Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards of public officials and employees, no? Nakalagay diyan, commitment to the public interest. Public officials and employees shall always uphold the public interest over and above personal interest. All government resources and powers of their respective offices must be employed and used effectively, honestly and economically, particularly to avoid wastage in public funds and revenue. So, yan talaga yung pinaka-purpose. Okay? So, I think napakita ko na sa inyo 'to, but I'll discuss later, no? RA 6713, itong Norms of Conduct of Public Officials and Employees, guys, Section 4, yan yung nagsasabi na kapag ikaw ay public official or employee, you should perform your duties, discharge your duties and responsibilities with these mga norms. Isa na diyan si commitment to public interest. Na dapat isipin mo lagi yung interest ng public over your own personal interest. Okay? So, usually yan about duty, no? Kapag nagwo-work ka, halimbawa pulis ka, public officer naman yan, 'di ba? Ngayon, birthday mo, kaso SONA o di kaya naka-red alert, puwede ka mas pipiliin mo ba dapat na mag-birthday, mag-ano, umabsent dahil birthday mo? Or you will discharge your duty with commitment to public interest. Ayan, no? You should always uphold the public interest over your personal interest, over and above pa nga. Aside from that, it's about the resources na dapat yung mga gamit na binibigay sa inyo, pinapahiram sa inyo, pinagkakagastusan para sa inyo, you should use it efficiently and effectively, honestly and economically para hindi naman masayang. Kasi pera ng gobyerno yan o pera ng natin. Okay? Next, the following officials may be removed from office by impeachment except the blank. So I've already discussed this. Si President, impeachable yan. Vice President, impeachable. Members of the Supreme Court, impeachable. Ombudsman, impeachable. At saka yung mga members ng ating constitutional commissions, 'di ba? Ng COA, CSC, saka COMELEC. So sino ang not impeachable here? Si Senator. So yan yung mga pinagsasabi ko kanina. Ito yung mga kasalanan nila kung bakit pwede mag-initiate ang House of Representative ng impeachment case. Okay, sino ulit ang magde-decide? Si Senator. Senators has the sole power to try and decide impeachment cases. Okay? Next, 160, last 10. Who among the following is not eligible to be appointed as member of the Commission on Human Rights? So, tinry ko siyang i-search talaga, guys, no? Pero ilan lang yung nakita kong qualification. Minimum qualification lang talaga. Nakalagay lang doon, majority of them should be a member of the bar, ibig sabihin lawyer. Tapos, dapat natural born citizen and at least 35 years of age. Yun lang yung tatlong qualification. So, sino dito yung hindi eligible? A certified public accountant born on 1972 to a Filipino mother but later elected Filipino citizenship, pwede yan because that certified public accountant is a natural born citizen. Kasi Filipino mother siya, di ba? Filipino mother niya. Tapos she or he elected Filipino citizenship after. A Filipino coming from the ranks of non-governmental organization sector, it's okay. sa Filipino siya. Again, ang options na ang nakalagay lang na qualification ng ating Commission on Human Rights ay natural born citizen, at least 35 years of age, ito. Natural born citizen, nakalagay ito sa ating constitution mismo. Asan yung constitution natin? Asan na yung constitution? Human rights. Okay, nakalagay dito, commission shall be members, ito na, nakalagay na pala dito sa akin. Ayan oh, composed of a chairman, bali 5 sila, isang chairman tsaka 4 na members. Ang mga requirement lang, minimum qualification, natural born citizens of the Philippines, majority nung 5, puwedeng 3, puwedeng 4, 'no, or puwedeng 5 sila, or majority lang pala 4 or 3. Dapat members of the bar. Term of office nila, bahala na kayo, sabi na nilang ng constitution, bahala na ang batas na magsabi kung ano pa yung mga other qualification. Ito yung other qualification na nakita ko sa CHR mismo na website. At least 35 years of age, must have not been candidate for any elective position in the elections immediately preceding their appointment. However, a majority thereof shall be members of the Philippine Bar. So, ano nakalagay dyan? Ito natural born citizen, tsaka hindi naman siya elective non-governmental organization nga siya, eh. Lawyer whose parents are both Filipinos, gano'n din, non-governmental, natural born citizen din, lawyer pa, so pasok na pasok do'n sa ating shall be a member of Philippine Bar. Natural born Filipino, okay. Ito lang ang hindi, naturalized. Kasi according to our constitution 'no, may mga citizens tayo, tinanggal ko yung dulo, yung naturalized kasi hindi naman sila natural born. So natural born natin, those who are citizens of the Philippines at the time of the adoption of this constitution, that's 1987, no? Those whose fathers or mothers are citizens of the Philippines, tapos those born before January 17, 1973 of Filipino mothers who elect Philippine citizenship upon reaching the age of majority. So yan yung mga natural born. So bawal, ito, hindi naman to natural born, it's naturalized. Ibig sabihin, may process siyang undergo para maging Filipino siya. So hindi talaga siya Filipino before. Okay, so hindi yan pwede. Okay, next. So ito ay sa citizenship natin, that's our Article 44 of Article 4, tama, suffrage yung Article 5. So this is Article 4, nakalagay doon, the following are the citizens of the Philippines. So those who are, yan. Tapos number 4 dito, naturalized. Pero hindi kasi sila natural born. Nakalagay kasi doon, nakalagay, the following are the citizens of the Philippines. So kahit na naturalized ka, citizen ka na nun. Pero you are not a natural born citizen kasi may ginawa ka to become a Filipino. Okay? Ito tatlo, talagang natural born sila. Okay, wala silang ibang ginawa para maging Filipino. Yung mga naturalized, kung kilala niyo si Kulas, Kyle, si Kyle, yung kakakasal lang si Kulas, Bisaya na kung ano ng language dialect niya, yun naturalized yun. Ay basta ibang lahi siya, napamahal siya sa Pilipino, napamahal siya sa Pilipinas, nag-petition siya ngayon for naturalization. Yun, naturalized yun. Pero madugo yung pinagdaanan niya 'no, ta's tatanungin pa siya 'no, kung bakit gusto niya, anong purpose niya, ganito, ganyan. Next, if an employee resigns from a government agency, which of the following premises is correct as regard to filing or non-filing of the statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth, or the SALN? So, nag-resign na siya. The employee is no longer required to file SALN since he or she is no longer a government employee. Tama ba yan? The employee is not anymore required to file SALN since the resignation effectively excluded the employee from the coverage of RA 6713. Number 3, the employee is still required to file SALN on or before the 30th day of April of the succeeding year. Or number 4, the employee is still required to file SALN within 30 days after resignation. Number 5, the employee may no longer file SALN with his or her former agency and just secure clearance from the accountabilities therefrom. So, if you can remember, meron tayong tatlong 30s pagdating sa SALN. You should file your SALN 30 days after assumption of office. So kung na-elect ka ngayon or na-appoint ka ngayon, within 30 days after your assumption of office, kailangan mag-file ka ng SALN. Siyempre, kung hindi ka pa naman magre-resign, 5 years ka sa service. Every year after that year, every 30th day of April or on or before 30th day of April, habang nasa serbisyo ka, magfa-file ka ng SALN. Ngayon, kung the 5th year, nag-resign ka. Magfa-file ka pa rin ng SALN, that's after 30 days after the resignation. So ito 'yon. Magfa-file ka pa rin, hindi porket resign ka na hindi ka na magfa-file ka pa rin. Kasi nga 'di ba, that's to check ano ba ang status mo na. Anong status mo before ka nakaupo, status mo while nakaupo ka sa serbisyo na while you are in service or in the position at ano na ang SALN mo nung magre-resign ka na. Ano na ang iyong ano na status mo, no, your statement of assets and ano yung mga liabilities mo, ano na yung net worth mo. So 30 days after assumption, every on or before 30th day of April of the every year, and then 30 days after resignation. So this is the correct answer, number 4. Okay, next. Putting loyalty to country above personal or party loyalty as well as manifesting by deeds the supremacy of civilian authority over the military are elements of which norm of conduct under 6713. So itong mga to, they are all elements or norms of conduct sa ating Republic Act 6713. Pero saan diyan yung putting loyalty above personal or party loyalty as well as manifesting deeds that's manifesting supremacy of civilian authority over the military. So that is commitment to democracy. Okay, so discuss natin isa-isa. Okay, so these are the norms of conduct in public officials and employee. Again, every public official and employee shall observe the following standards of personal conduct in the discharge and execution of official duties. So first is the commitment to public interest. Na-discuss ko na yan, di ba? Yung you should always uphold public interest over and above your personal interest. And then you should use the mga funds and revenues effectively, efficiently, sorry. You should use the office, power, resources effectively, efficiently, and honestly para to avoid wastage. Professionalism, you should do your job. You should perform your duties. You should discharge your duties with utmost integrity, no, professionalism, yan, degree of excellence, intelligence, and skill. Kailangan gawin mo yan nang ginagawa mo yung best mo. No, gagamitin mo yung mga pinag-aralan mo at dapat meron kang pinag-aralan para ma-perform mo na maayos yung job mo na yan. Perform and discharge their duties with highest degree of excellence, professionalism, intelligence, and skill. And also, they shall enter the public service with utmost devotion, dedication to duty. Kasi papasok tayo sa public service, guys. Kailangan talaga may ano ka niyan eh, dedication. Kasi napakahirap ng trabaho sa public, 'di ba? Magpupulis ka, magsusundalo ka, 'di ba? Hindi mo nakakasama yung family mo araw-araw, 'di ba? Isipin mo, papasok ka ng for example, 20 ka nakapasok. Ngayon, 20 years ka magtatrabaho. Mag-aasawa ka, kailan ka mag-asawa? 30, 'di ba? Kailan namamatay usually yung tao? 60 years old. For example lang 60. So, ilang taon na lang kayo magiging magkatabi ng asawa mo araw-araw, 'di ba? Isipin mo yung kami nga ngayon yung asawa ko, okey 4 years na kaming kasal. Pero in that 4 years, ilang beses lang kami talaga yung magkasama, 'di ba? Ngayon lang, lately lang na nandito na siya sa malapit. Pero dati 3 months, 4 months hindi nagkikita, tapos nagkaanak pa, 'di ba? Hindi nagkikita. Kasi yun yung parang isasakripisyo mo yun, eh. Although maganda ang sahuran naman talaga sa public, pero yung ano ba, madali kasi siya kung hindi mo iisipin yung stability, yung marami namang mas mataas na sahod kaysa sa public, guys. Yun lang, stable lang talaga. Ang dali lang talaga isuko niyan. Kasi kung mayroon kang biglang work na mas mataas ang sahod, 'di ba, na puwede kang sa bahay lang sa bahay ka lang magwo-work kasama mo pamilya mo ta's mas mataas pa. For example, sasahod ka ng 60,000 per month or 100,000 per month, nasa bahay ka lang. Compare mo in-offeran ka for example, saan ka tapos sa work mo ngayon meron kang 35,000 for example, o sige let's say 40,000. Tapos di ka nakakauwi sa pamilya mo, ta's 'pag may birthday ka pa hindi ka pa halos makauwi. 'Pag may birthday yung mga anak mo, asawa mo, whatsoever, nanay, tatay mo, hindi ka pa nakakauwi. Dali na maisuko talaga 'to guys kapag may opportunity lang, 'di ba? So dapat you should have the dedication and devotion to talagang maging sa public service, maging public servant, 'di ba? So they shall endeavor to discourage wrong perceptions of their roles as dispensers or peddlers of undue patronage. So pagpasok mo dapat you should aim na dapat hindi maisip ng mga tao. Dapat mawala na sa isip ng mga tao na, mga ano kami, kurakot kami, na taga-protekta kami ng masasamang loob, na, backer lang yung talagang nakapagpapasok sa'min, wala talaga kaming talent, wala kaming intelligence, wala kaming skill. Dapat tanggalin yun 'no, kasi kahit kayo nga ngayon 'di ba, naiisip lang natin, pumasa man kayo sa CSE, ninyo, ako wala akong hindi ko iniisip yun. Backer lang, 'di ba? So, once you're in the service, hopefully, kayo mismo yung magpatunay na, "Hindi, nakapasok ako dito, wala akong bakit." 'Di ba? Yan, you will discourage wrong perceptions talaga. Ikaw yung isa sa mga dahilan bakit may mga taong maniniwala na 'pag pumasa ako sa civil service, makakapasok ako kahit wala akong backer. Ikaw yung isa sa mga magpapalakas ng loob nila. And ang ganda niyan 'no, ang ganda niyan. Kasi professionalism. Justice and sincerity, so dapat ibigay mo sa mga tao yung, deserve nila, ibigay mo sa kanila yung rights nila, 'no, and then you also be sincere sa mga tao. So, public officials and employees shall remain true to the people at all times. Ito ay sincerity. They must act with justice and sincerity and shall not discriminate against anyone, especially the poor and the underprivileged. So, that's justice. Kahit sino ka pa, dapat ibigay sa'yo yung mga rights mo. Kahit sino pa yan, kahit mukha yang walang pera, mukha yang walang bahay, walang tsinelas, they have their human rights. They have the right kung ano, kung kailangan nila ng papeles from your office, that's their right. Kasi Pilipino naman yan eh. Citizen natin yan eh, 'di ba? So they have a right. Give them their rights. They shall at all times respect the rights of others and shall refrain from doing acts contrary to law, good morals, good customs, public policy, public order, public safety, and public interest. They shall not dispense or extend undue favors. Yan, justice and sincerity. Do not extend undue favors to account of their office or to their relatives, whether by consanguinity or affinity. Consanguinity ulit, relative mo by marriage, no, by blood, or affinity by marriage. So, wag porket ito yung pinsan mo, siya na yung papasok mo diyan sa service kahit na wala naman siyang qualification, 'di ba? Sinong kawawa? Tayo lang din, yung mga pagsisilbihan niya. Kasi wala naman siyang 'di naman siya qualified diyan. Oh, magiging kawawa din 'yan, yung mga Pinoy, sila sumasahod, mga pinagsisilbihan na kawawa naman, 'no? Except lang dun sa mga coterminous ang terms. Ibig sabihin coterminous, kapag umalis ka wala na rin yung posisyon nila na yun, puwede yun. Mga personal staff, yan puwede yan guys. Pero 'pag yung mga talagang mga positions 'no, hindi puwedeng ibigay mo lang yan sa mga relatives mo, lalo 'pag hindi naman sila qualified. Next, police neutrality. Political neutrality, so ayan yung 'pag you should give or you should provide service to the people without unfair discrimination. Kahit sino pa yung party list na binoto nila, sino pa yung, sino man yung, mayor or barangay captain na binoto nila in the past 'no, or governor o president. Wala tayo dapat pakialam diyan sa party affiliation or preference 'no nila. Then responsiveness to the public officials, employees shall extend prompt, courteous, and adequate service to the public. Dapat mabilis, dapat marespeto, no? Ano ba yan? Uh, Courteous, magalang, at sapat na service to the public. So, ano pa ba yan? Pawis na ako ah. So, dapat kapag may nagtatanong, may humihingi ng information sa inyo, you should give information in a way na maintindihan nila at kumpleto na hindi na sila babalik at babalik sa iyo pa ba. Ma'am, ano pa ulit yung kailangan ko, 'di ba? I think na-discuss ko na-explain na-share ko 'yun eh sa ibang mga classes na magtatanungan ka, "Ma'am, ano pong requirement ko para makakuha po ako ng ganito?" "Kuha po muna kayo ng ganito, ganyan." Pagpunta ko do'n, nakuha ko na yung kailangan na sinabi nila, may kulang pa rin pala, "Ma'am, kuha ka pa ng ganito." Eh, yung lugar nung dalawang papel na yun na kinuha ko, isa lang. So, kung sinabi niya na beforehand, 'di ba, nagawa ko na rin during that time na nandun din ako sa lugar na yun. So, dapat it should be you should and ano yan, provide information of their policies and procedures in clear and understandable language to be responsive to the public 'to. Talaga ibigay niyo yung kailangan nila, 'no? Language, ensure openness of information, public consultations and hearings whenever appropriate, encourage suggestions, and simplify systemize policy, rules, and regulations. So, basta yan. And then ito, si commitment to democracy dapat, no? We should lagi supremacy of civilian authority over the military. Kaya nga sinasabi natin, 'di ba? Sino ba ang pinakamataas na tao sa Philippines? The president, and he is a civilian. So kahit sobrang daming sundalo, si president pa rin na isang civilian ang pinakamataas. So public officials and employees shall commit themselves to the democratic way of life and values. That's why nung mga time na may mga gustong baguhin yang democracy or ating way of our ano ba, form of government. Mapapatanong ka na lang eh, paano na yung ating RA 6713? Paano na yung ating constitution kung babaguhin yan? Babaguhin din yung constitution kasi nakalagay doon, the form of government natin is democratic and presidential, 'di ba? Republican, 'di ba? So, babaguhin din 'yon. So yan, kailangan lagi nating ipagtanggol ang demokrasya. So, kailangan hindi mawala yan. They shall at all times uphold the Constitution and put loyalty to country above loyalty to persons or parties. So, dapat you should be loyal to the country. Not sa tao, not sa isang politiko, not sa isang political party, not sa isang grupo, but to the country, to the Philippines. Uphold the Constitution, 'no, kung ano may nakalagay sa Constitution natin, sundin natin 'yon, 'no, proteksyonan natin na hindi masira yung mga nandoon, and also again be loyal to the Philippines. And then a simple living, pinakamadali kasi pinakamadaling intindihin, 'no. Dapat 'pag ikaw ay nasa public office, you should lead a modest life. Yung appropriate to your position and income. Hindi yung naka-gold, gold, gold ka, 'no, barangay captain ka na ang dami mong bleng-bleng, mga geng-geng, 'no. So, you should lead a modest life. Okay. Next, so this one, ito yung sinasabi natin, commitment to democracy, civilian authority over the military, commitment to public interest, it should be the public interest over and above your own personal interest. Nationalism and patriotism, okay, nationalism and patriotism, nasa other section yan. So, nationalism, ayan yung um, to promote locally produced goods. So, yung mga, sa, kumbaga, ano yun? Ano ba yun, yung gamitin ang sariling atin, parang gano'n, yung mahalin ang sariling atin. Basta yung i-promote mo yung sarili nating gawa, sarili nating, mga products, 'no? We should yan, promotion lang yun naman yan, guys, at paggamit, paggamit. So, kung bibili ka ng mga gamit, kung mas maganda kung locally produced para nga mapakita natin yung nationalism natin. Usually kasi may iba kasi may na brand ng Philippines mahal, 'no? Pero may iba naman na makakamura lang talaga, halimbawa mga basket, mga balde, ganyan. So, locally produced products, promote. And also ano, yung mga yamang dagat natin, mga tourist spots, promote nyo yan kahit sa internet lang. That's a way of showing your nationalism. Si patriotism naman, ayan yung kaya mong isakripisyo ang iyong lives and ang ating limbs and life to protect the sovereignty of the Philippines or yung kalayaan ng Pilipinas. From whom? From um, from foreign intrusion. Yung 'yan, yung ginagawa ng China, 'no? Yeah, we are trying to protect our sovereignty. So, yung mga ginagawa ng Navy at kung sino pang tao na pumupunta do'n at yung mga mangingisda who tries to protect WPS, 'no, at ipakita na talagang gusto nila ipagtanggol ang ating sovereignty o kalayaan natin or yung ating jurisdiction or the sovereignty natin over that particular island, that's patriotism, no? The willingness to sacrifice our limbs and life to protect our sovereignty from foreign intrusion. Yan. Political neutrality, I've already explained that. Yung wala tayo, you should serve without any preference kung sino man yung taong yan, kung sinong party yung political party yung kanyang ginugusto or binoto. Professionalism, you should always discharge your duty with utmost um, devotion and dedication, with highest high degree of excellence, no, and skills and intelligence. Yan. Next, we have 163. So one seek remedies available to a woman who is a victim of violence under the RA 9262 is to seek the issuance of a protection order. The protection order that may be issued under this law are the barangay protection order, temporary protection order, and permanent protection order. The following may file the petition order except. So, dito sa scenario na to, meron tayong victim, no? Victim siya. Ang rights niya violated ay yung mga violation pala na ginawa sa kanya is the violation under the RA 9262 or the Anti-VAUSI or the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act. Ngayon, pag kasi nabiktima ka ng mga ganyan guys, for example, no, binasag yung mga gamit niyo sa bahay, that's under RA 9262. So, ba yung lalaki, pinagbabasag niya yung mga gamit. So, that's economic abuse, right? Or hindi siya pinagtatrabaho para umasa lang siya sa asawa niya para kahit bugbugin, hindi siya lumayas. No, hindi niya kayang buhayin yung sarili niya at yung mga anak niya. That's violation under RA 9262. Or halimbawa, ano pa bang ginawa sa yan? Abuso, physical, sexual abuse, no, economic abuse, yan yung mga under ng RA 9262. Now we have, kapag for example, binugbog ka, no, tapos gusto mong kumuha ng protection order para hindi ka malapitan, then that's fine. Okay, you can get barangay protection order, temporary protection order, usually yan sa RTC naman no, sa court na to kinukuha, and permanent protection order. So, syempre, nakalagay na rin dyan sa term, temporary, may specific period lang kung kailan hindi siya pwedeng makita or malapitan. Pag permanent, totally permanent na talaga yan. Si barangay protection order, no, parang ano lang din ng temporary na makukuha mo lang din sa barangay. Itong iba kasi medyo mabibigat na ng mga protection order yan. So, sino-sino, the rest of them, or majority of these options are mga puwedeng mag-file ng petition for that mga BPO, TPO, or PPO. Sino ang hindi? So we have at least 2 concerned responsible citizens, healthcare provider of the offended party, parents or guardians of the offended party, punong barangay or barangay kagawad, or the offended party. So malamang sa puwedeng mag-petition yung offended party. So I'll show you the list. Okay? So the list that we have here ay a petition for protection order may be filed by any of the following. Number 1, the offended party. Sinabi ko, 'di ba, malamang puwede talaga kasi siya yung mismong victim. Parents or guardians of the offended party, lalo na 'yan guys kapag minor yung bata. Kasi 'di ba, anti-VAUSI or the RA 9262 ay anti-violence against women and their children. So, tatandaan niyo sa VAUSI hindi lang babae yung pwede maging victim, pati yung lalaki. But batang lalaki, yung anak ng babae. Okay. Parents or guardians of the offended party, so mismong yung asawa na babae or yung anak nila. Babae man yan o lalaki, pwedeng maging victim dito sa RA 9262. So parents or guardians, ano ba, yung batang lalaki binubugbog ng tatay. Pwede yan. So pwede mag-file si bata, syempre bata pa yun. So malamang sa malamang, parents or the guardian o yung mama. Ascendants, descendants, or collateral relatives within fourth civil degree or of consanguinity or affinity. So, ascendants, yung mga nasa taas, mama, papa, lolo, lola, no? Fourth civil degree, so tito, tita, pwede din. O consanguinity. Or affinity, dun sa part ng binan. So, binan, no? Sister-in-law, brother-in-law, yan. Officers of social workers, yung mga DSW natin or social workers natin from LGUs, pwede. Siyempre diyan kasi, sila kasi ang may hawak niyan guys kapag nagsumbong. Siyempre, lalo pag bata, dito yan. Tapos dito naman pag matanda. Pero usually, basta DSWD. Police officers, preferably those in charge of women and children's desk. Yan. And then, punong barangay o barangay kagawad. And then, lawyer, counselor, or therapist or healthcare provider of the petitioner. At least 2 concerned responsible citizens of the city or municipality where the violence against women and their children occurred and who has personal knowledge of the offense committed. So, nandyan yung list. Asan dito yung wala sa list? At least 2 concerned responsible citizens, pasok yan. Healthcare provider, the following may file the petition or order. Healthcare provider of the offended party, healthcare provider, asan na yun? Okay. Unahin natin sa baba. So, the offended party, pasok. Punong barangay, barangay kagawad, pasok, letter F. Parents or guardians of the offended party, pasok letter B. Healthcare provider of the offended party, asan yung healthcare provider natin dito? Eto, letter G. Ma'am, bakit mali si at least two concerned responsible citizens? Because kailangan at least two concerned responsible citizens no city or municipality kung saan where the violence against women or children occurred and has personal knowledge. Masyado mahaba, pero required yan. Kasi for example, ako yung victim, ang nagre-request o nagfa-file ng petition for order taga ano, taga Cavite na hindi ko kilala. Pwede ba 'yun? Siyempre hindi. Dapat citizen siya do'n sa lugar na 'yon, 'no, sa city or municipality kung saan nangyari yung violence, tapos may personal knowledge siya. Hindi 'yun tsismis lang na ang alam ko po meron pong hindi ka puwedeng pumunta do'n 'no, sa barangay o di kaya sa court pupunta ka dun. May narinig po kasi ako may binugbog daw na babae, kukuha po sana ako ng TPO, PPO, BPO. Parang tanga ka nun, 'di ba? So 'yan, kaya ito yung tamang sagot, letter A. Number 1 kasi siya yung exception. So dito ay hindi ko pa ito nasagutan guys. So kopyahin natin siya. Huh? Kopyahin natin siya. Okay, ito yung tamang maling sagot. Kasi except, ano ba ang dapat? Dapat ay mahaba. Oop, sorry. Oh, yun pala yun. Ito dapat mahaba yan eh. Dapat mahaba yan. Yan. Next. The maintenance of peace and order, the protection of life, liberty and property, and the promotion of general welfare are essential for blank. So this one, civic efficiency and development of moral character, national security which promotes peace and development, sovereignty to reside in the people, the enjoyment by all people of the blessings of democracy, the promotion of social justice and of phases of national development. Para mabait sila lahat, no? Ito yung isa sa mga sinasabi kong mahirap na ma-exam kapag mabait lahat ang options. Kasi ibig sabihin verbatim yan. Ibig sabihin may libro, may batas, or may reference na dapat nabasa mo yan para masagot mo yan ng tama. Okay. So this one, mabait lahat eh. Yan yung problema ko sa mga exams guys kapag mabait lahat ng options. Kasi kung isa lang yung mabait, alam mo yun lang yung sagot. Kasi mabait naman ang pinakamasagot dyan. Paano to? Lahat naman parang okay. So you should have read the mismong 1987 Philippine Constitution. And you will see that here sa ating Declaration of Principles and State Policies. Ito yung ating principles. Principles to guys, sorry naghiwalay. Hiwalay dapat to, principles. Anim lang yung principles natin. So the Philippine is isa sa mga prinsipyo natin sa ating 1987 Constitution, sa Pilipinas, no? The Philippines is a democratic and republican state. Ibig sabihin, again, pipili ng mga representative nila, this is a representation. Ibig sabihin, pipili tayo ng gusto nating mag-represent sa atin, siya yung magtatrabaho para sa atin. They will run the government kasi sila yung pinili natin. Sovereignty resides in the people and all government authority emanates from them. So sa atin nanggagaling yung kapangyarihan na meron ngayon yung mga taong nasa posisyon. Kasi tayo ang bumoto sa kanila eh. Okay? Number 2, the Philippine renounces war. This war na sinasabi dito, it is the uh, offensive war. Pag defensive, pag tayo ang atake, pwede yan. But we do not want yung mga offensive war na tayo mismo ang atake, hindi natin ginagamit. Hindi natin ginagawa yan. So we renounce that. Ayaw natin yan. Philippine renounces war, specifically the offensive war. As an instrument of national policy, we adopt the generally accepted principles of international law as part of the law of the land. Ibig sabihin, kapag tanggap ng halos lahat ng bansa, generally accepted siya ng buong mundo, yung mga batas na yan, pwede natin yan tanggapin as batas din ng Pinas. Okay? Pero 'pag hindi tanggap, generally accepted, hindi na puwede nating gawing batas natin or hindi, kailangan may process. Pero 'pag accepted ng halos lahat or generally accepted 'yang principle na 'yan, puwede 'yan maging part ng batas natin. And we adhere to the policy of peace, equality, justice, freedom, and cooperation and amity with all nations. Section 3 natin, civilian authority is at all times supreme over the military. The AFP or the Armed Forces of the Philippines is the protector of the people and the state. So its goal is to secure the sovereignty, yung kalayaan ng ating estado, and the integrity of national security. That's why ang Armed Forces of the Philippines, they protect our kalayaan and also they make sure na hindi nasasakop yung ating mga national territory. Kung ano yung national territory na sinasabi natin, amin 'to. Poproteksyonan namin 'to. That's why meron tayong Air Force para sa territory natin sa himpapawid, meron tayong Army para sa teritoryo natin sa kalupaan, and we have the Navy para sa teritoryo natin sa karagatan. Okay? Kasi that's their job. That's their goal. To secure the sovereignty of the state and the integrity of national territory. So what's the national territory? Ayun yung sinabi ko sa inyo kahapon o nung nakaraan na the Article 1, the national territory, the Philippines is an archipelago. Pakita ko sa inyo para i-copy paste natin dito si national territory. Katabi lang yan sila ni preamble, no? So basahin niyo siya. Lalagay ko siya dito para mabasa niyo. Lagay ko dito dagdagan natin. Si preamble at saka si national territory, ha? Kasi madalas may mga lumalabas na galing dito eh. So the national territory comprises of the Philippine archipelago with all the islands and waters embraced therein. Okay. Nasaan na ako banda? Lapit na tayo, huwag kayong mag-alala. Hindi naman kami nag-aalala, ma'am. And then 160. Okay. So nakalagay dito, oop, next natin, the national territory, nilagay ko lang doon. The prime duty of the government is to serve and protect the people. Parang PNP, no? Serve and protect. The government may call upon the people to defend the state. So that's why pwede tayong, yan, may mga ROTC, di ba? Para we can, pagtapos kapag, di ba, may mga reservist. Yan yung purpose. Bakit may mga reservist? Just in case it's necessary, no? Pwede tayong tawagin ng state to protect or to defend the state. And in the fulfillment thereof, all citizens may be required under conditions provided by law to render what? Personal, ibig sabihin tayo mismo, hindi pwedeng may proxy, military, or civil service. Okay, next, number 5, the maintenance of peace and order, the protection of life, liberty, and property, and the promotion of the general welfare are essential. Kailangan nating lahat yan, guys, para ma-enjoy natin ang blessings of democracy or kalayaan, no? The maintenance of peace and order, protection of life, liberty, and property, promotion of the general welfare is essential for the enjoyment by all of the people, by all the people of the blessings of democracy. And the number 6, the principle natin, the separation of church and state shall be inviolable. Hindi pwedeng maglaban sila, hindi pwedeng magsama kasi in the past, nag-try yan sila na magsama, magulo. Okay, so that's why pinaghihiwalay sila. Next, what would happen if the president vetoes an approved bill? Okay? So, mangyayari approved na siya na bill pero bineto, ibig sabihin veto, 'di ba, veto power of the president, parang ayaw niya yung batas na yun. So, what will happen? The principal author discusses the bill in the Congress para mapag-usapan, ma-reconsider, no? Para in case ma-approve din. Hindi puwede magalit sa president yung author, grabe naman yun. Hindi din siya puwedeng mag-rally sa Malacanang. The bill is disapproved. Yeah, but then, again, may chance pa naman yan. Kailangan yan i-discuss sa Congress para nga ma-reconsider. Hindi yan isi-send sa court. Actually, ang gagawin, isi-send yan doon sa originating na house para yun nga, para ma-discuss. Okay. And number 166, malapit na, 4 na lang. Alice Go, 5 pala, has invested her savings by buying a sizable number of shares in a private company. Not long after, she found employment in the government. So, meron siyang sizable shares in the private company. Kaso, nakahanap siya ng trabaho sa government. And, syempre, di ba, alam nyo naman, kapag nasa service ka or nasa position ka, public position, public official or employee ka, kailangan i-let go mo yung mga may conflict sa position sa iyong work sa service sa government. To avoid any conflict of interest, ayan yung sinasabi kong conflict, she decided to cede all rights over the shares to a daughter of her cousin who paid for them at a lower price. Was the divestment proper? So, alam niyo naman ang divestment, di ba? Yung mga karapatan mo, rights mo, titles mo, ibibigay mo sa iba. But specifically to your family or relative. Ay, other than, sorry. Oh yeah, yeah, family or relative. So, no, the divestment should have been accompanied by resignation from any position in the private company. No, the divestment should have been made to any person other than spouse and all relatives. The fact, number three, the fact presented are insufficient to arrive at a definite answer. Yes, the divestment is proper. Tanggalin natin yung, lumabas tuloy yung sagot. Because it was na monetary consideration, yes, the divestment is proper since your cousin's daughter is not within the fourth degree of blood relations. So, ito na ngayon. So, let's check what is divestment. Divestment is the transfer of title or disposal of interest in property by voluntarily, completely, and actually depriving or dispossessing oneself of his right or title to it in favor of a person or persons other than his spouse and relatives as defined in this act. So, sino-sino ba? Again, sorry, divestment, it should be given or ibibigay niya yung mga rights, title niya na yon in favor of another person, but that person should not be your spouse or relative. So, tingnan natin kung pasok ba sa term na relative yung ano daw, cousin ng cousin niya? Uh, daughter of her cousin. Daughter of her cousin. So, sa kanyang pamangkin in some degree kasi cousin na, hindi na sa kapatid niya. So, let's check what is relative. So, family of a public official, sino ba yan? Means their spouses and unmarried children under 18 years of age. So, bawal yan, no? Hindi sila pwedeng dyan ibigay kasi that's not a proper divestment. Relatives refer to any all persons related to public official employee within the fourth civil degree of consanguinity or affinity including bilas, inso, and balae. So, this one, tanungin natin, "Ma'am, ano ba 'tong ano, pangilan ba kasi fourth civil degree?" Okay, maghahanap na lang ako ng table 'no, para mas madali kasi of degree of relative. Fourth kasi hindi ko nakita kanina. Balak ko kasi siyang isa-isahin sana kaso baka malito kayo sa buhay niyo. Ito. Ito na lang, copy. This will do. Okay, dito ko ilagay ha. Ayan siya. Let's check kung makikita. Oh, no. Person, children. Okay. So, ganito magiging itsura niya para malaman niyo kung pasok ba sa fourth civil degree. Hay, ang labo, ma'am. So, this is the person. Sorry, this is the person. Ito si Alice Guo. Parents niya, first civil degree. Civil degree yung grandparents. Third civil degree yung great grandparents. And fourth civil degree yung gra- great great grandparents. Nasaan si pinsan? Parents. Pusang alaw ang linaw, ma'am. Grabe. I like it. Dito na lang tayo. Mas malinaw ata to. Wait lang guys ha. Ayan. I think mas better. Much better. Kaso ayaw niyang lumabas. Eto. Let's check this. Check this out. Pom, 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 pom. Labo kasi guys. Self, brother, sister. Okay, I'll try my best. Malabo lahat. Ano ba yan? Oh no. Malabo talaga lahat. Let me check. You, first degree, your spouses, child, parents. Actually, sa amin, spouses, parang zero yan eh. Ang labo guys. Pero dito yan banda. Dito yan banda. Uncle, auntie. Pinsan niya, di ba? Cousins. Asa yung cousins? Ito, cousin. So, siya, tapos yung parents niya, for civil degree, cousin niya. Tapos, brothers and sisters tong parents niya. Tapos, pinsan, pasok sa fourth civil degree yun, guys. Pasok sa fourth civil degree. Okay. Ito nga, si great-great-grandfather, parents, pasok sa fourth civil degree. Pasok din yun. Hindi ko lang mabasa dito, pero pag anak ng cousin, yan, first cousin, second cousin, third cousin, pasok pa rin yan, no? Tapos yung mga anak nila, pasok din sila. Pababa ng pababa. Ito, fourth civil degree pa lang. Fourth civil degree. One, para malaman mo kasi yung mga civil degree na ganyan, from you, bawa kung mas nanay mo, yan, first civil degree mo, kasi isa lang yung inakyat mo. Lolo mo, from you, mama ko, bago ko maging kadugo yung lolo ko, sino dapat ang nadaanan ko? Yan, si mama ko, tapos yung lolo ko, yung nanay niya. Kasi sila yung magkadugo talaga. So, pangalawa, second degree yung lolo ko. Yung tito ko guys, na kapatid ng nanay ko, ilang degree ko yan. So, bago mapunta dun sa tito ko, hindi ako pwedeng dumiretso sa tito ko. Kailangan, from me, aakyat muna ako sa nanay ko, tapos sa lolo namin. Kasi yun yung dahilan bakit magkadugo si tito ko tsaka yung mama ko. Tapos saka ako pupunta. So from me, mama ko, tapos yung parent nung dalawa, yung tito't mama ko, parent nila, so that's second, and then bababa ako sa tito ko, that's third. 'No? That's why dito, third na 'to. So, this one is ako, parents ko, yung parent nila, ni mama ko, yung lolo ko, tapos yung tito, tita. Kasi nandito, third civil degree. Yan, first, ano ba yan? Ang hirap kasi, sorry, sorry, nag-a-arrange ako ng sarili ko. Basta basahin niyo na lang yan. Pero ganun yung sitwasyon, guys. From you, yung anak mo, ilang degree yan? Isa lang kasi from you, bababa ka lang naman isa. Okay, yung apo mo, from you, baba ka sa anak mo, tapos apo mo, that's second degree. Okay, so ito, pasok pa yan, 'no, kasi relative pa yan, fourth civil degree. Grabe ang init. Next, saan na tayo? So, divestment, bakit nagkakaroon ng divestment? To avoid conflict of interest. So, dapat hindi sa family ibibigay yung titles and rights, hindi din sa relatives. The requirement of investment shall not apply to those who serve in government in an honorary capacity or to not nor to laborers and casual temporary workers. Next, what is the basic autonomous social institution protected by the state? So basic autonomous social institution, that's the family, pinakamaliit na social. Autonomous sila lang, no? Meron silang leader doon, may mama, papa, no? At may sumusunod yung mga anak. Government is the machinery of the state, no? Yan yung ginagamit natin para patakbuhin ang ating estado. Community, nandiyan tayo nakatira. Autonomous region, yan yung may sarili silang local government or government. Labor is the, ano yan, sa workforce. Labor. Ano nga yung term? Primary social economic force. Primary social economic force. Okay. Primary social economic force. Family is the basic autonomous social institution. Sinabi ko na yung barangay is the basic the basic political subdivision naman. Okay, next. May sagot na. It is the power of the state, the power of the electorate to approve or reject a legislation through an election called for the purpose. So that's referendum. The power of the voters or the electorate to approve or reject a legislation or a law. Initiative naman, may amendment of the Constitution at tayo mismong mga tao ang nagpo-propose. So that's our initiative. Petition, alam niyo na yan, parang prayer, parang request. Yan. Plebiscite naman is a process din yan, no? Election din yan. But there is an initiative coming from other people na gustong baguhin yung constitution at tinatanong sa atin kung gusto nating i-approve or hindi. That's people din yan yung plebiscite. People din yan, but the question sa atin is to approve or reject an amendment sa ating constitution. Sa referendum, power din yan natin to approve or reject a law. Initiative, tayo mismo nagpo-propose ng pagbabago. 'Di ba? Next, suffrage is our right to vote. That's Article 5 of the Philippine Constitution, right to vote. So, sino-sino ang mga pwedeng bumoto? At least 18 years of age, as long as they are not disqualified by the law. No literacy, no money, no property ang kailangan or i-require para makaboto ka. Okay? So at least 18 years old, Dapat you have been a citizen of the Philippines at nagre-reside ka doon sa lugar kung saan ka boboto. Okay, right to vote. Next, citizenship acquired by legal process, that is naturalization. So, citizenship, ayan yung sinasabi kong may process kang i-undergo, yung tulad kay Kulas, no? May mga talagang hiniring pa yan bago siya maging Filipino. Si Diyos Soli, ouch, merong ano sa ano ko dila ko. Si Diyos Soli tsaka si Diyos Sanguinis, there are principles of citizenship. Walang Diyos Sol. Ayan siya. Evaporated sa gatas yan, yung evaporated milk. Okay, Diyos Soli and Diyos Sanguinis, naalala ko 'to nung college ako kasi in-explain ng professor namin. So, yan yung dalawang principle kung paano ka magiging citizen. So, Diyos Soli is by birth, pero ang palatandaan ko dito is soil. Kasi 'pag pinagbaliktad-baliktad mo yung soli, soil, 'di ba? Soil, ibig sabihin kung saan ka teritoryo pinanganak, by birth. Sakit ng ano ko guys. Diyos soli or by birth. By soil nga ang palatandaan ko dito. Saan kang lupa pinanganak. Saang teritoryo ka pinanganak. Kung saan kang teritoryo pinanganak dun, yun yung citizenship mo. But we are not using that here in the Philippines kasi ang ginagamit natin is jus sanguinis or by blood or right of blood. Jus sanguinis, parang relative by sanguinity din yan. Sakit talaga. Relative by sanguinity, ay consanguinity, consanguine, dugo, no, by blood, sanguine. Relative by blood. So, ito naman, Diyos sanguinis, ito naman yung right of blood. Yon, right of soil or by birth. Yon, yung Diyos soli. So, ang ginagamit natin dito sa Philippines is by birth, by blood. So, kung ang parents mo, Pinoy, pareho, kahit nasaan ka pa pinanganak, Pinoy ka. Okay? So, jus sanguinis or right of blood is the legal principle that at birth, an individual acquires the nationality of his or her natural parents. For example, the Philippines follows jus sanguinis, so any child born to Filipino parents or parent, regardless of their location, is automatically considered a Philippine citizen. Ayan, yan siya. Evaporated milk. Milk yan. Ano yan? Alaska. Naturalization, ayan yung kailangan ng process, legal process, para maging Pinoy ka. Okay, so don't forget Jusoli at saka Jusanguinis, napakagandang i-memorize niyan. I mean, 'pag natanong at alam mo, parang matalinong-matalino ka tingnan 'no. Yan, by birth at saka by blood. And the last question, inherent powers of the state are the following except one. So inherent powers of the state, we have the police power, we have power of expropriation or power of eminent domain, yung 2 tsaka 4 pareho lang yan, at saka power of taxation. So, sulatan natin 'to. So, police power natin, this is given to the legislative talaga, guys. That's why they have the right to or they are given the right to or power to legislate or to create or make laws. Para pasabi nila yung ano yung pinagbabawal, anong mga hindi puwedeng gawin. Legislative department to binibigay. Again, it is to limit freedom, 'no, para hindi naman maapak-apakan yung freedom natin. Okay, by the way, these three 3 lang talaga 'yan, may ibang term lang 'yang nagbigay 'no. These 3 ay mga inherent because kahit walang batas ang magbigay ng power na ganyan sa state, kahit walang constitution na magbigay kasi 'di mo 'yan makikita sa constitution guys, sa kahit anong batas. Binibigay 'yan because of the state itself. 'Pag walang ganyan ang state, mamamatay ang state, 'no, mamamatay ang state. So, kailangan meron silang tatlong 'to. This is very inherent, powers of the state. Police power, it is the power to, again, to enforce law, 'no, para pagbawal yung mga bawal, mga puwedeng makasira sa general welfare, mga puwedeng makasira sa ating society, 'yan. 'Yan yung ginagawa ng police power. Power of taxation, siyempre kailangan din 'yan para meron ngang mga project, may mga magawa sa state natin na magamit din ng mga katauhan, mga citizens, 'di ba? Mga projects, mga patubigan, mga kalsada, mga buildings, mga schools, mga ganyan. So, that's really necessary. So, kapag walang taxation, sino ang sa tingin niyo gagawa ng mga buildings na 'yan? Imposibleng ikaw. 'Di ba? Kung wala ka ring pera, 'di ba? So, dapat may power taxation. Ayan yung mga ginagamit natin for revenue para makagawa tayong project, 'no? Yan yung sinisingil sa atin 'pag bumibili tayo ng kahit ano at saka during our 'pag may trabaho tayo, sinisingil sa atin. Power of eminent domain and power of expropriation, yan naman yung the power, the taking of private property for public use with just compensation. So, Pwede nating kunin ang isang private property kung kakailanganin ng for public use. For example, may lupa diyan, kailangan gamitin para magawa yung kalsada. Okay? So, pwede yon. Basta bayaran natin yung may-ari with just compensation. Bayaran natin sila ng sapat, tama, para pwede nating kunin, para magamit natin. Kasi para sa state naman yan, for public use, for public use. Okay, so yan, pareho-pareho yan sila, power of expropriation and power of eminent domain. So, ayun. So, ito naman ay for revenues. Ito lang yung lagi kong sinusulat, no, guys? Ito namang dalawa, power to create and make laws. And enforce. Make and enforce laws. Oo nga, to limit freedom, no? To limit freedom, parang hindi limit freedom to perpetuate or to protect itself. The power of the state to protect itself. Okay, yun na lang. The power of the state to protect itself. Okay, expropriation tsaka domain, pareho yan. Again, taking the power to take private property for public use. Again, kailangan yan with just compensation. Saan nyo ito makikita? Makikita nyo ito guys sa 1987 Constitution actually. Pero hindi yun yung nagbigay ng power sa state, no? Ang nagbigay ng power sa state, si state mismo. Inherent na kasi ito sa kanya. Philippine Bill of Rights to. Sige. Bill of Rights, Section 9. Bill of Rights natin, Article 3, ha? Baka yan matanong, what article in the 1987 Philippine Constitution ay Bill of Rights? Or what is Article 3 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution? That's Bill of Rights. Section 9 ito. Yan si, power of eminent domain or taking private property for public use with just compensation. So, the right answer is none of the above. So, yun lang. So, ito yung ating preamble tsaka national territory. So, pag gusto nyo basahin nyo na lang dito. And thank you and God bless your civil service examination journey. I'm hoping for the best. By the way, I have 4 minutes, so I'll also just give you konting lang, no? Kasi I've taken the CSE as well. Ang dami kong tinake na exam, di ba? Meron akong NAPOLCOM, meron akong POE, meron akong CLE. So, to make sure na you save your time. Okay, you save your time pagdating dyan. Kasi mahirapan kayong pag nasa dulo na kayo at wala na kayong time, mapipilitan kayong manghula. Sayang yung point. So, basahin yung question. Kapag hindi kaya, pag umabot na ng 20 seconds, 30 seconds, di nyo pa rin masagot, move on. No? Tapos, basa ng basa, hanggang baka malay mo kasi madali lang yung dulo. And then, balikan nyo, kung 170 questions yan, 160 questions, balikan nyo from 101 to 160 ulit. Huwag kayong maglalaktaw na porket nasagutan nyo na hindi nyo nababasahin. Kasi minsan, kahit nabasa nyo na ng 3 beses, mali pala ang pagkakaintindi nyo. Doon lang marirealize kapag paulit-ulit mo nang binasa, bakit ganito yung sagot ko? Okay? So, yun lang. Thank you so much and have a nice day and God bless to you. God bless and good luck. Thank you po.
Okay, so thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, end
Hi,
na
sir.
natin. Yes,
Okay
ma'am.
po, sir. Thank you po, sir. Good night po.
Thank you, ma'am.